Here's the deal for me. This is my girlfriend, Brene. I will meet her before I die. I've nearly been arrested one time. I followed her around the country. I get to see her again in April with 5,000 other people, but I feel like I'm going to do my standard, I love you, Brene, which will work, I'm sure. She's written a number of books, a few of which changed my life. One is called Daring Greatly. Her most recent book, Braving the Wilderness, beautiful read, just about so much about connection and belonging and why we matter. And this is one of my favorite quotes of all time. She says, the truth is, rarely can a response make something better. What makes something better is connection. And we know this to be true when we are on the other side of things, when we are on the other side of loss and grief. Yeah? When you have been at your saddest, your most desperate, saddest sense of losing something you love, what did you need? Connect. You know this without much of a break, right? You understand that what you need is connection at some level, right? Sometimes people say, I need to be alone, but we will always get back to the sense of somebody connecting with me, yeah? We forget this when we get on the other side of grief and loss. We completely forget this. In this state of the nation now, somebody loses somebody in our community and we're like, oh God, I should bring them food. Should I bring the meatballs or the buns? God, they probably have too much. I didn't really know them well anyway. Like, what do you say to somebody who's lost a child? I don't think I can. I'm not gonna go. I'll check in later when things have calmed down. Yeah? Because we're losing the capacity to know what it takes to repair, to not fix, but to be with, to just be in that moment. Because if we think we don't have the answer, we're out. Yeah? We know when we're on the other side of it, all I want you to do is show up. All I want you to do in the middle of the night, I want to open my door, and there you are, my friend, with 2 Starbucks, and I'm going to say to you, why are you here? And you're going to say, there's no place else I'd rather be. I drove 3 hours because we're going to figure out how we say goodbye to your dad. Yeah? We know this. We know this. We just forget it in the moment. We also know that in our communities, we are raising each other's babies. Yeah? We know that we are raising each other's babies in our communities, and we are all questioning the same thing. Do we matter? Are we making a difference? Are we screwing our kids up? And we have the capacity every day to give this stuff away, and we don't. Huh? Because we're always worried that people are doing better than us, or we're the ones who aren't getting it. We're the ones who are we're all screwing it up. Huh? And the more you give it away, that is how we create connection in our communities. I'm going to tell you a quick story about, I was in Red Deer doing some training, driving past Billy Bob's, remembering my glory days of '93. I was with Melissa, Adrian, actually, Roberta, and we were driving, pulled up to a traffic light, and there's a mama in a beat-up old minivan behind us, yeah? Dancing. And like, I don't mean maybe, like this chick was, and she had a little person beside her who was probably like 14 or 15, mortified. Losing his mind, okay? And he had a helmet on, so there's some developmental delay going on for this guy, but if he could have crawled into the vents, he would have. And so I'm watching, I was like, oh my God, Melissa, watch this. This mom is awesome. So we're watching. We missed the light. And people are like, ah. So I go around the corner, and Melissa said, where are you going? I said, I'm gonna follow her now. She's like, oh God, why? I said, I need to tell her she's amazing. She's like, oh, Jesus. Now? Oh, no, she wouldn't have said Jesus. She said, geez. And so I pulled up behind her, and I was like, I hope she's not going to Lacombe because we got training to do. So she didn't go far. I pulled in behind her in her driveway, and I got out of the car. And I went up to the window, and I said, she rolled it down, and I said, hey, hi, this is going to be kind of weird. I was just parked ahead of you at the traffic light back there. She's like, oh, okay. I said, I just saw your dancing. Okay. I said, I just wanted to tell you, I think it was pretty awesome. And I don't know who this little kid is beside you, but he's pretty lucky to have you. I just wanted you to have a good day. She's like, thank you. I needed that. And I got back into my car. And as I watched her go into the house, she carried this baby because he can't walk. And it took me 30 seconds. Yeah, I was not late for training. Is this mama in the game? Yeah, she was dancing for nobody. We do this with our kids and other people's kids, our teachers, our EAs do this with our babies every single day. Notice. Connect. When you see a dad or a mom doing something in our schools or our communities that you think is amazing, you tell them that. They'll want to make out with you. I have a lot of hands on the circle. And when Asher's teacher says, I think he's amazing, I'm like, what, really? Okay, exactly, where was he? Like, is he above average? Like, or do you see other kids sort of like him? Or like, do you feel like he's gonna be like president or premier? Like, where do you feel like we're at? We all want to know that we're making a difference, and we have the capacity to give this away, all right? So what does this have to do with our marriages? Well, here's the thing. You didn't think you were going to get marital therapy, but I'm going to tell you 2 seconds about this, because this stuff that we talked about today applies to all relationships, right? The people you employ, the people you serve in your work, your parents, your grandparents, your babies, and certainly the people you chose to marry. This is a quote by Anaïs Nin, and I really love this. Love never dies a natural death. It dies because we don't know how to replenish its source. It dies of blindness and errors and betrayals, and it dies of illness and wounds. It dies of weariness, with witherings and tarnishings. When people we love get dysregulated, we have no capacity to sit with it. We want to fix it. And when we do that again and again and again, we get disconnected, because when you don't see my pain or my anger or my sadness, I'm not going to give it away again. Huh? If you don't sort of sink into me at least 30% of the time, I don't really know, I just made that up. But if you don't do that, sometimes it's not gonna happen. Because we so desire to fix, and especially with our partners, we do this most often. I'm gonna show you this little video that I think is beautiful.
It's just, there's all this pressure, you know? And sometimes it feels like it's right up on me, and I can just feel it, like literally feel it in my head, and it's relentless, and I don't know if it's gonna stop. I mean, that's the thing that scares me the most, is that I don't know if it's ever gonna stop.
Yeah. Well, you do have a nail in your head.
It is not about the nail.
Are you sure? Because, I mean, I'll bet if we got that out of there...
Stop trying to fix it.
No, I'm not trying to fix it. I'm just pointing out that maybe the nail is causing...
You always do this. You always try to fix things when what I really need is for you to just listen.
No, see, I don't think that is what you need. I think what you need is to get the nail
See, you're
out.
not even listening now.
Okay, fine. I will listen. Fine.
It's just... Sometimes it's like there's this achy... I don't know what it is. And I'm not sleeping very well at all. And all my sweaters are snagged. I mean, all of them.
Yeah, that sounds really hard.
It is. Thank you. Ow!
Come on, if you would just...
Don't...
Try to see things my way. Do I have to keep on talking till I can go on? We can work it out. We can work it out.
Fabulous, right? All right, guys, I didn't realize I already kept you past what we're supposed to do. Here's the thing. There's a couple of more questions here that I'm going to read really quick, and then we're going to let you go. If you have to leave, I totally understand. How do you regulate a kid who only speaks whine? I freaking love that. I like to call these guys Caillou. Yeah? And so here's the deal. When you have a whiner, they are going to turn it up louder and louder and louder to get to the bottom of hand. They want you to regulate them. And our typical response to whiners is to put them to the top of the circle. To say, enough, that's not a good choice, until you're ready to stop talking like a baby, blah, 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 blah. The exact opposite is what they need. What happens with these kids, if you beat them to the punch, they no longer require it. Okay, so I'll give you this quick story. I'm coaching this kid, novice C, tier 167 on a hockey team this year. And he sounds like Caillou, he looks a bit like him. And every time, coach, coach, coach. What? Did I do good? No, No, you didn't, actually. You were in the other guy's net. So I will talk to you when you learn how to play your position. Coach! Jesus, every shift. Coach! Hey, can I have some water? No. You can't. You got your own bottle. It has your name on it. Get it. I can't. Can you do it? So I take that loving bottle and I shoot it at him so that maybe he will learn that because I drench him, he should take his own. You understand me? This is how we try to teach them. What this kid requires is for me to beat him to the punch. And when I do that, he no longer needs to turn it up into a whine. Yeah? Babies regress when you bring another child home from the hospital, when there's competition, when they're going through a developmental transition of some sort. They're going to turn it up into that yeah? And our typical response is to get them less dysregulated, so we set limits and boundaries, which makes sense, but for these kids, they have a really hard time to do that. So when you beat them to the punch, so for this kid, for example, before he even comes in to the dressing room, I'm like, hey, good morning. Hey, good to see you. You're at practice early. Good job. I'm on the bench with his water bottle before he even takes a shift. I'm like, hey, dude, you thirsty? You thirsty? Every time he comes off, I'm like, you want some? Huh? And by the second period, he's like, Coach, back off. 10-4, dude. You understand? So I hope that's a little bit of a, how do we sort of get that down there first? How can we help other parents understand how teachers are feeling when kids are dysregulated? Collect before you direct. Big kids need it like little kids need it. We all need it. If you collect before you direct, tell me more. Now, I just fixed your problem. I didn't say, if I were really going to answer this question, I would have taken a whole lot more time, but I know you got to get out of here. But it's this idea of adults and kids, we all operate the same way. When you can step into somebody else's shoes, take a breath and say, tell me more, you will have so much more capacity to connect in that relationship. It's true in business, it's true in leadership, it's true in anything that we do. It's true in policing, which is my very favorite thing on the planet. Listen, from the bottom of my mama heart, I just want to say thank you. I know what it means to take 2 hours away from your babies and try to coordinate childcare. That you would come out tonight really means the world to me. So you are raising babies in this town, and I spend a lot of time here. So I just want to say thank you to each of you for coming. And you can follow me on all of these wonderful things that we're doing. We have some events in Calgary. So just go home and light up. And I'd love to hear about it. Not like really hear about it, but like just the other stuff. All right. Good night. Thank you.